Do I always shoot videos of toilets? Only when I have to. I want to show you this. This is a toilet that's been installed for over 7 years. What's going on with this? Look at this. You can move it really super far up over here to the right. You can imagine what happens when you're sitting on that. You know what I mean? And I'm not quite sure what's going on. I can't move it to the left, but I can move it to the right. When I flush it, it doesn't seem to leak still, so that tells me at least the wax ring is situated exactly where it's supposed to be, even though it's lifting up like this. You know? If I can get this pushed down tight again, hopefully I won't have to pull the whole toilet up. These are really super heavy. These one-piece toilets like this, doing it yourself, it's very difficult. I would suggest if you're trying to remove an existing one-piece toilet, you can do that by yourself, but to reinstall it, it's best to have a second person helping you with that because those puppies are heavy. Now let's take a quick closer look at this and see what we find. I have not checked this toilet out yet, so whatever I find, you're going to see firsthand. Now upon closer inspection, I see, here's the cap. That's the toilet bolt cap, and it's pushed up, and I'm not quite sure why that's like that. It shouldn't be like that. And that's where the toilet bolt is, and the whole thing's kind of popped up. And there's a trim piece underneath this cap, you know, that's supposed to be tight down there, and somehow the nuts come loose. And it's hanging up there like that. I'm going to have to, I want to pull that down and see what's going on. This is the toilet bolt that's supposed to be holding the toilet down to the Hercle flange down below. And it looks like that bolt has come loose from the Hercle flange. And I'm hoping that I don't have to pull the whole toilet up. You see that bolt right there? That's not supposed to be up that high. That's supposed to be down low. And the idea is that that's bolted down to the floor and then this cap covers it. Well, nobody would have left it like that. See that? I think that bolt, the head of it has twisted to the right or to the left and then it's popped off of the Hercle flange. And that's what caused this toilet to be loose. See how loose this is? Look, I can lift it way up high. And I'm hoping to see if I can pull that bolt out of there and reposition it down into the Hercle flange and tighten that back up. That's my thought. Then I can come down here and re-caulk that. Re-caulk it all the way down nice and tight. I really don't want to have to pull this toilet off and reinstall it. I'm not really set up for that today. Besides, that's kind of a tricky little project by myself. I'm hoping to get it fixed this other way. Man, I'm huffing and puffing. That seemed like the hardest bit to this whole thing was to get that cap off of there. See this top cap here? That was snapped down on the bottom plastic thing. And I had to get that apart. I used a little screwdriver and kept prying and prying and prying. Okay, that's the top of the cap. See there, you got the nut there and the washer and the plastic bit to the cap that goes down first, and then this snaps down on there. Now see this bolt here? See how I can push it up and down? That means that it's come off of the Hercle flange. And the bottom of this nut, of this bolt, it has an oblong head on it. So you put it into the Hercle flange. The Hercle flange has a notch in it. You put it in the notch and then you turn it so that the head of the bolt fits underneath the Hercle flange. Then you can tighten it up. Well, somehow that's spun loose and it's popped up like that. How could that happen? I've never seen that happen before. Okay, so I'm going to loosen up I'm going to take the nut off. And I'm going to try to fish that bolt back down into the Hercle flange, twist it, and try to lodge it back in there so I can tighten it back up. Hey, I think I got it. See how much lower it is now? It took a while because I had to fish for it, and then as I got it in there, I had to then try to twist the bolt in there. So I put the nut back on there so I kind of had something to kind of grab, slid it under there. Once I felt it kind of plop into place, I then turned the bolt, because it's got like a little arm like this, and then you fit it in there, and then you turn it sideways, you know, and then it fits underneath the Hercle flange. I was going to show you that the end of the bolt, but I couldn't pull it out of the toilet bottom, you know, but I've got it in there. Okay, so I pull up on it, and it's tight now. That's all I need. And so now I'm going to take the nut back off, put this plastic cap back on there and the washer, and tighten it back down. Oh yeah. You see, I got it back down in there. I got the plastic ring down there first, then a metal washer and the nut. Then I'm going to take the cap, and then the cap snaps back over that. But before I put that cap on, I'm going to gently snug it up with that little wrench. Now see, I don't want to make it too tight. First off, I don't want to crack the base of the toilet, and I just want to make it snug. If I start tightening up too much, I can't really see what I'm doing there, and it could twist the bolt too, and then it could pop out of that notch down in the Hercle flange from before. Okay, so I'm going to do that. What they should have done was take a lock nut and washer, and they could have put that on first, tightened down the bolt to the Hercle flange that way. Then it never would have popped out of the Hercle flange, if you catch my drift, if you've ever seen what a Hercle flange looks like. Then you'd never have that problem happen. But as it was, there's no nut down there, because obviously there couldn't be, or else it wouldn't have popped up like that. Okay, so here I go. Now the other thing I'm going to do, when I get done snugging that up, snapping the cap back on there, I'm going to go ahead and caulk it down to the floor too. That's going to help. Apparently it doesn't look like there was any caulking here at all. Well, I'm looking really super close, and it looks like there was just a little bit. There was such a thin bead. This side came off. I'm looking at the front of the toilet, on the right side of the toilet, and there's still some there. So that had to have peeled off too. When I put some new caulking down there, that'll kind of help bond that down there too. And hopefully the toilet's not going to loosen up again. Now, as with any repair, when it comes to water, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flush the toilet, make sure that no water seeps out of there. And I don't think it's going to, because I don't see any remnants of water down on the floor from before. But let's just see and try it and find out. Last thing I want is for it to leak after I get done with the whole thing and have it caulked and all that, you know. Just going through the motions. I'm sure it's not leaking. It doesn't look like it's leaking anywhere. I'm looking all around the toilet, and I'm not seeing anything at all. So that's a good thing. Okay, I got that kind of snug. I'm not going to tighten up too much. I kind of held on to the top to make sure it wasn't spinning, because if it starts spinning, it could come out of there again. So I've got it pretty good, and I'm trying to move the toilet around, and it feels snug. So now I can put that cap back on. When you slip those caps on, try not to snap it straight directly on top of it. Overlap the back first and then snap the front down, or overlap the front first, snap the back down, something like that, one side then the other, and then it should snap down. And I know it's pretty right where it's at, because the cap should fit on there without hitting the top of the bolt, and it looks like it's going to. You know, if it was hitting, then that would tell me it's not pushed down far enough, or I'd have to cut the top of it off with a hacksaw or something like that. Okay, so let's see here. There. Nope, nope. Hey, look at that. Oh, shoot. It came off. Look at that. You know, that tells me I just had barely got it underneath the Herkel flange, so I'm going to have to try it again. Hey, just be patient with it. Try it and you'll get it. Didn't want to think I tricked you or anything. This is the same toilet. It took me just a couple minutes to do that this time. And I got that nice and snug. Okay. It's probably just barely underneath that Herkel flange. I mean, once I put that down in there, I kind of took a screwdriver and kind of wedged it so it slid underneath the slot in the Herkel flange a little bit. And snugged it up. Now I'm going to caulk that. And hopefully, once the caulking cures and gets tight to the ground, that's going to help hold the toilet down for any rocking motions later on down the road. Because if I don't do anything, chances are it could get loose a little bit, and then that could twist again and it could start doing the same thing. You know, 3 months from now, a month from now, a year from now. Once I put that caulking down there and that bonds, ooh, that's gonna be fine. You know, if this toilet does the same thing again within the next week or so, I'm gonna try the same thing again, because I will do anything before having to remove this toilet. Try it.